What's up, everybody? It's your boy Jay Stu, bringing you a new season of Cigars, Cocktails, and Conversation. Got a very special guest here, a guy that I met back in college. We had some fun together. Got some funny stories.
A lot of fun.
Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell everybody what you do.
Mike Bowling, at Mike Alex Bowling on everything, IG, Twitter. So I work in sports, social media producer for Stadium. I do part-time on air, social media host for the Cubs. Grew up on the west side, now I'm out on the south side. It's a rarity.
I got him on the south side, everybody.
You said you were going to play the lottery?
Yeah, I'm definitely playing the lottery because I've seen him on the south side twice in the, I've known you for almost, 8, 9 years? Twice. But, without further ado, this is Cigars, Cocktails, and Conversation. Today we're going to be smoking La Aurora cigars, a really good brand that I've been introduced to. And today I have a very special whiskey that was gifted to me from the great people of Commonwealth Proper out in Atlanta. It's called Golden Crow. I'm excited to try it, so let's go ahead and pour up.
It says 100 proof.
100 proof, yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
You do the honors, that's your bottle?
Bless the bottle.
You got it?
That's some ghetto black people stuff. That's my bottle.
If you know, you know.
Right. And how you open this? Okay. Got the wax top. I'm pretty sure I didn't do this right.
Now you said these people are from Atlanta?
Yep. Good friend Gerald, best friends with my cousin. He's from I think the Detroit area.
Okay.
I'm pretty
And
sure.
he relocated to?
Yep. He works at Commonwealth Proper.
Man, I enjoy Atlanta a lot. That city is awesome. It's all good, all over the place. Oh, you can't open it?
After technical difficulties, commercial break, we had a hard time getting the top off, but here we go. You do the honors.
All right. Let's see what we got. Golden Crow. I'm not going to pour too much. Just in case.
Right in my, I already got hair on my
Might
chest.
hit different.
I smelled it a little bit, but it's going to be good. We're going to make it.
All
right. Smell good?
It smells like it could be sweet.
Actually good.
It is kind of sweet.
Good job, Golden Crow. This is going to be fun. 100
I
proof.
taste. Is there vanilla in there?
Yep, vanilla beans. This is what they use to soak it. They soak vanilla beans in
Vanilla and honey. Yeah, that's pretty
I like
good.
that.
All
All
You
right.
definitely can just sip.
100%.
If you try and drink that, like you drink other whiskeys, you're gonna be on your
KO.
butt.
100 proof. All right, so we can get right into it. First topic. Both you since I've known you, you've always worked in like the sports world. With the COVID, pretty much everything in sports have been canceled.
Yep.
Do you think there should or there will be a sports season?
I don't.
Specifically college athletics. We know that the NBA and the MLB, they're going to try to do something.
Right, they're going to be back in the next week. I think the first MLB game is Thursday.
Mm-hmm. But do you think college should?
I don't know, man.
It
It's
will?
tough because from what I've gathered, a lot of it has to do with each institution. The problem with college sports, in my opinion, is there's no like president of all athletics.
Mhm.
You got a commissioner of the NCAA, which we don't even need to talk about them, but there needs to be one person that can say it's not happening or it's happening. Because recently the Big Ten and the Pac-12 were like, we're only going to play conference games.
Right.
The ACC we're still waiting on. SEC might just play because that's who they are.
Right. They
So-
take too much money from football. And the crazy thing is, the SEC, think about every SEC school, it's in a small city that is
Right.
banking on that revenue. Like Tuscaloosa, I'm not really sure what else is there besides
Nothing.
them. Like,
And the other part of it is college football pays for every other sport. So if you don't play a college football season,
every school
everything,
will suffer.
you know, we've
the schools
already-
will suffer because they need that money.
right, and a lot of schools have already cut, Olympic sports, swimming, golf, tennis, and those are scholarships for people to, get their education. So long-winded way of getting here, but I don't think that they're going to play. I think they might try, and I think the way people are looking at it is, will they start? And I'm wondering, like, if you start, will you finish?
Right. Because I feel bad for the seniors last year.
Mhm.
You know, big Michigan State fan, Cassius Winston, after the tragic passing of his brother, was finally getting informed, and Michigan State they were starting to look good.
Yeah.
And it just hopes it. Also, high school basketball. I follow high school basketball in Illinois, and kids were gearing up for state, and the season just stopped. So a lot of these kids didn't get an opportunity to, play their final game, showcase their talent for, potential scholarships, or the kids in college trying to go pro.
Yeah, and it's tough too because what you see at the surface is these kids just aren't playing. But what a lot of people don't care to realize or consider is some of these kids would not otherwise be able to go to college,
100%.
So when you think about guys from inner cities or from anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
you don't get a chance to display your talent. How are you going to get recruited? Like you can't. You're not going to take a guy based off his junior year stats. Did he grow? Did he keep working? Did he, say, I'm just good? Like that's.
Some of these inner city kids, if they don't go to college, they're stuck in their neighborhoods,
right.
and then they become a product of their environment,
right.
And that leads to whole other problems. So, I do want athletes to be safe, but in the same breath, if they can play, I kind of hope they do, because sports bring people together too.
Right.
Think of just like people from all walks of life bond over sports. People that would never ever talk in any other instance. Like, I feel like the world is a better place when sports
are 100%. And we're a product of that. Right? We're sitting here because of sports.
Right. We met because of sports.
And you played a different sport than I did, but we went to Lewis, and it was like if you're an athlete, you hang out with athletes. Mm-hmm. That's what you get on even a bigger scale, and you meet people that end up your friends for the rest of your life. And I agree. I think if they can figure out a way to do it safely, I would like to see them play. But I mean, you play football, like. It's going to be really tough to do when you talk about linemen. Yeah, like there's no way.
The quarterback, I mean, the first thing you see a quarterback do is they're going to the center, lift their fingers.
Right.
So it's like things that's going to be difficult, man.
And that's
a very physical sport with sweat and multiple people touching the ball. The referee touches the ball before the play.
Yep.
The center touches the ball before he
hands it to
the quarterback. The quarterback is either going to pass it or hand it to a running back.
Yep.
And then
somebody's got to pick it up if it's an incomplete pass. Everybody's sweating.
Everybody's touching lineman on lineman.
Yeah, it's
football. That's going to be tough.
I don't see a good way to do it unless you get these guys wearing masks under their helmet.
Which that's not a safety concern because
nobody's going to want to do that because you can't breathe.
And then football is too many people, and the games are too. It's different than basketball. The NBA, it's a league with how many teams? So you just simple solution. X amount of teams in a bubble. Everybody has to quarantine. You can't do that with college football because these kids are coming from all over, wherever.
All
especially
over
like
where
the Big Ten.
All right,
Michigan is playing Nebraska. That's not down the street.
Nope.
They
got to go to Rutgers.
So you can't. So are you going to make a team stay in New Jersey for 14 days before they can play the game? You can't do that. It's too expensive. It's too.
And it's hard.
School.
The other thing is it's hard to get enough testing. Like if you're gonna have to test these guys on a Wednesday before a Saturday game every time, that's 70 people, 75 players on a roster, coaches, staff, whoever's on the sidelines. Like that's a lot of money put into testing. So we'll see. I mean, I'm cautiously optimistic because I think that the money is gonna drive the decision.
Oh yeah, that's what the whole country though. Like,
and that's the hard part about it is like, are we gonna like if I was a parent. I would be hesitant.
I'm not sending my kid to school.
If you're a lineman, like, first of all, you're going to school. You could live in a dorm and do your work remotely if that's how they're going to do it. Mm-hmm. But every day, sometimes twice a day, you're around other people who came from all over the country, and like their parents might not take it as serious as you're. Like it's too random. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. I mean, I hope they play because I want to have something to do in the fall. But I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't.
I'm miserable without sports, man.
It's tough. It's been tough.
TV. To watch the basketball tournament on ESPN was so refreshing.
Oh yeah, and they did a great job. Shout out to them. I don't even know who runs that, but they didn't have like any positive tests when they were coming.
No, they didn't. So I watched like 2 games, but I kind of just got distracted and didn't finish watching it. But it's just refreshing to see live sports because I'm sorry, I'm not a person that can sit up and watch old games.
No, I'm not either.
When I know what happened, I don't want to see it.
The only thing that was close enough that carried us was The Last Dance.
Right.
But that was, I didn't know the details of what was going on. Mm-hmm. So it was like I was learning something new. Mm-hmm. Even if I knew that they were going to win, obviously.
Right.
But, Yeah,
But
man.
I think that was more so
went,
the backstories.
right, and I went like 1 week where I was like, oh, okay, this is Mike versus Alonzo Mourning. Like, I watched 2 quarters. I'm like, well, I already know that he dusted them because they're playing.
Right, exactly.
So I'm
know
like,
Michael
I
Jordan.
can't do this anymore.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm like that with you too.
Since we're on sports, this is definitely not a topic that I plan on talking about, but you're a Michigan fan.
Yes, indeed.
I'm a Michigan State fan. What do you think is the greatest college sports rivalry?
College sports. Okay, so I have a few thoughts.
Okay.
I think my first thought will be the Michigan State rivalry is very underrated nationally.
It is, but it's not as big as Ohio State.
No, it's not. But that's like the length of the rivalry.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
When you talk about history, you can always put your hat on that. But I've clearly enjoyed Michigan State games more than Ohio State because we just don't beat them.
Wow, that was kind of a sneak diss. I was gonna say,
But no, but for real, like, so I have one of my best friends, Dave. He went to Michigan State, great guy, and he took me to the Breslin Center. We watched the Sunday game, CBS with the horns, like that environment.
It's different, man.
It's crazy, but it's like that in-state hate is so real. Like, you only drive
It's
what,
like
45 miles or something like
I
that.
think a good comparison to that, like locally, is like Morgan Progress or Simeon.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
they're both on Vincennes. They're like, what, 20 blocks, 30 blocks away
Yep.
from one another. But I know a lot of those kids are cool outside of
Right.
it. But
When the
even
lights come on,
the
it's a wrap.
students are like even ready to buck, which I don't like.
We're not promoting violence.
We're not promoting violence at all, but I love it. Like going to those games,
Oh, yeah,
seeing
so
those kids play. But I think personally, I think the Ohio State Michigan rivalry is the best. I had a chance to go to the Ohio State facilities, and they have a whole section dedicated to the rivalry.
Yeah.
They don't even say Michigan; they say the team up north.
Yeah.
Like it's insane.
It's weird too because I work in social, so like when that week comes on, they're like every tweet they have,
No
M's. But whoever's running their social always seems to miss one.
Ooh,
So we always
I've
just
never-
like
I've never
laugh
did.
because it's like, I mean, if you go do this, like
You had
be thorough,
one job.
You had one job, right? But no, I agree, and like that's kind of where my fandom came from. Like my aunt, she graduated from there, and you know,
From Ohio State?
No, from Michigan.
I know. I just want to.
But it's like, all right, here we go. Like, I'm a kid. There's no local college football teams, so I just kind of gravitated towards that. And, you know, I grew up hating the Packers, hating the Cardinals, and then hating Ohio State. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to ride with this.
Yeah.
This is fun. Back in the day, it was more fun than
Right.
it is now.
Yeah, of course. And my best friend, Alex, is an Ohio State fan.
Right.
But his older brother is a Michigan fan. Which I'm like I know that their family is from Ohio. So I'm just kind of thinking back, like both of them, Alex had the Ohio State poster in his room, Aaron had the Michigan poster in her room. So of
That's
course,
why
as a
sports are so important.
Right. They literally, I love to see like the floor mats that say a house divided. Like people don't understand how deep that stuff runs. Like family members don't talk to one another because of college decisions.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's what makes college sports just so great to me.
Yeah, it's territorial. It's familial. It's very like deep rooted. So like I had the pleasure to interview Kyle Ahrens, his dad, at the Big Ten tournament, and his mom was wearing a split jersey because one kid played for Ohio State,
and Kyle
so she's wearing a
Michigan
split
State.
jersey, and they were sitting on opposite sides of the stadium.
What?
Because he was like, I gotta root for Kyle,
Right.
Because he was senior or whatever he was a junior, and the mom was like, I'm just kind of having fun with it,
Right,
you know.
right.
But I could tell like the dad was real serious. He was like, we can't have this.
I can't do it.
So yeah, like I would agree, and I think maybe we're a little Midwest biased. I'm trying to think of other really. I mean, like Florida State. I think it's pretty.
I
good.
like the Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah, see,
That's
that's
a-
like different.
That's-
Like, I don't even know if we understand.
No,
just
it's
being
definitely
in the
different. See,
Midwest.
like you said, we're Midwesterners, so it's definitely like to the point where I was watching a documentary. I think it was a 30 for 30 about the rivalry or something like that, and a guy poisoned the tree on Auburn's campus, and he got jail time.
Yes,
And he got jail time for poisoning that.
that's because you're in a little town, and this is literally the whole show.
Yeah.
Like you wait every year until Labor
The thing
Day.
is, no professional sports in Alabama,
Right.
so it's Bama or Auburn. I mean, it's other schools in there, but we all know who It's like it's either Roll Tide or I don't
War Eagle.
War Eagle, yeah.
Yeah, so I have family in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and I think our family is pretty split too. Like nobody, I don't have any memory of who went where, but it's like some people like Alabama because that's what they like, and some people like Auburn, and then every last week of the college football season it's
going down.
Nobody's talking.
I got a chance to be a part of a decent rivalry, the Purdue versus Indiana. That's definitely it's a good one. It's not as deep as the Ohio State Michigan State or Ohio State Michigan, but it's definitely there. Like I remember my freshman year at track, our coach was like, "You can't wear red." Like he just wasn't having it. You're not allowed to wear red. I better not see you wear red.
I love that. That's awesome.
And then the ironic thing is, I can say this now because I didn't finish at Purdue, but I took a visit to Indiana the week after I visited Purdue, and Indiana was by far just like I had so much fun. I ended up befriending like half of the team at IU, and I still keep in contact with those guys.
Nice.
And I'm tighter with my IU friends than my Purdue friends. Like I love my friends from Purdue, but it's just like it's crazy. That visit was my best college visit.
Bloomington's a lot of fun.
It is. I'm glad I did not go there. Who
Things
knows?
might have turned out different.
Definitely would have been different because it's a different world.
So I think the Purdue-Indiana rivalry is more intense in basketball.
Yes, I was just about to say that because think back when Glenn Robinson and when Bobby Knight was coaching there and Gene
Keady.
Yeah, that's when both teams were really good. So I know that had to be cracking back.
Oh yeah, and like I went and watched Michigan played at Purdue, and we drove up, and it was like the chants were about IU.
Oh yeah,
IU
Michigan sucks.
Like, yeah, it was like the middle of the second half.
And
I'm like, where did this come from? Like, y'all are not even, like, we're winning.
Right.
We're winning. Michigan's winning. Y'all talking about IU.
We're just gonna talk about
so
IU.
I looked at the schedule. It's like they play them on that Saturday. I was like, well, okay, they're just getting ready.
Those games are a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would like to go to like a Auburn Alabama game one day and just like be a bystander. Like not know anyone. Show up to a tailgate, see who shows more love,
right?
And then just.
I have a little cousin. She's about to be a sophomore at Bama, and she told me yesterday actually, like, you got to come up for a game. Do not tempt me with a good time.
Please let me.
The funny thing about that though is both of her parents went to Florida. Okay. So they're like, man, she's going to Alabama.
Yeah.
Like, we ain't, like, it's a good school, but we're really not rocking with it.
We're not trying to pull up.
Shout out to Miranda, John, and Jasmine.
Yeah, that's real cool.
Yeah. I think another underrated one is Duke and North Carolina. That's like a couple miles away from one another.
Yeah, and that one's really intense.
And I know back in the day it was, but even like what's the kid that tripped the dude?
Hansbrough?
No, not. Oh, that one was insane with the bloody nose.
That's all. That's what I think about immediately.
Insane. I'm thinking of. He's in the NBA now. I cannot think of his name. I'm surprised Coach K didn't kick him off the team. He like kept tripping people.
Oh, Grayson Allen.
Grayson Allen. He can hoop. But he like
Grayson Allen.
He's those like he's one of those like Duke players that just gets under your skin. He's
just like him, Christian Laettner, like
right, exactly.
So imagine annoying. But then like Hansbrough was at North Carolina and very annoying also.
Right,
like, they hate each other.
Right.
Yeah.
That's I love to see that, and I always people always ask me, do you like college sports or professional sports more? 1,000% college sports because of the rivalries. Like. Yeah, the Bulls and Pistons, that was a rivalry, and the Bulls and the Heat, the Celtics and the Lakers. The Celtics and Lakers is the only one I think that can compare with.
But they just don't play each other
enough. Right.
But that I think helps the rivalry
because just think Michigan
once
State
or twice a year, like you got to go all
Michigan
out.
State and Michigan play each other 2 regular season games and have a chance to play each other another 2 times.
Yeah, basketball for sure.
Because I'm not. Hey, I'm not.
I know they won three in a row the last time.
And then the year before that, they won 4 times in a year.
Yeah.
But that's a whole other story.
Whatever.
But you know what? As much as I dislike Michigan, I do like what they did with their program this year with Juwan Howard.
Yeah, man, he was a revelation, and I was the biggest. I still am a huge John Beilein fan. I think that what he was able to do in the last decade was incredible, just getting 2 and 3 star recruits. Like I always talk about Duncan Robinson, like he played JUCO or not JUCO, he played at like Division III, and he was like a power forward,
right?
And he was 6'8", he was the tallest guy on his team, and then he transferred to Michigan, and they're like, oh wow, Buddy's got a burner,
right? And
now he's one of the best shooters in the league. Like I watched him at All-Star.
I have no clue how Michigan State beat them the last 2 years. With Michigan's team I'm sorry, they were better. With Charles Matthews and those, like the Big Ten tournament last year, I was so envious of you. You were at that game.
Yeah, well, I was able to
that
cover
was
it.
Nuts.
And those games were really good. Like, that's high level basketball because all the players are obviously 3, 4, 5-star recruits. But you got Xavier Simpson versus Cassius Winston, which I think was one of the greatest
Xavier
battles.
He can hoop.
And he can play D, but like Cassius Winston is one of the greatest scorers of all time in college basketball, I would say.
He's so smooth.
And he was never phased. And like, to me, what impressed me so much about him is you could be walking down the street and he just looks like any other guy.
He's not super athletic.
No, but I'm like, you gotta have space for a guy like that on your team because he knows the game. His IQ is very high. He can shoot. He can facilitate. Like, he was one of the best players. Like, he's gonna have his number retired at some point.
If they don't, I would never watch another Michigan State game ever again. He broke the Big Ten record for assists.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's
a huge accomplishment.
I mean, it's been some great point guards that come from the Big Ten.
And see, like I think I was most because I'm close to it because I don't like Michigan State when the lights come on. Like, I respect the hell out of what he had to go through. Because it's so hard. I mean, I couldn't imagine. And then you got to get your head back into. I made a commitment to play for Tom Izzo, and he's given me all this latitude to process this how I want. And he was just like, man, I just want to hoop. And the first couple weeks, it was like tough. He was still just feeling it out.
He said it would be times he just want to walk off the court and not play.
But he was rolling. Like, I would say for sure, if they would have played the Big Ten tournament and they would have won the Big Ten tournament, they would have been easily favored to win the national championship.
I have to be a jerk towards my own team every year. Michigan State is supposed to do this. They're supposed to do that. They should have won a championship last year.
But that's why we love it.
Yeah, you're right.
That's why.
But I guess that's the beauty of college sports, especially college basketball. Because remember the year they lost to Middle Tennessee?
Yeah.
When I tell you my phone blew up, and I know you were one of the people. I think you just sent me like an emoji. I'm like
a smiling emoji.
Like F you. And then people were like cursing me out. Like, I'm on the team. Like, dude, I just fucking lost money on Michigan State.
Like, what do you want me to do? I wasn't shooting.
I don't get shit for you, huh? Right.
No, yeah.
Lucky I didn't play. We really would have got blown out.
I agree though, like that. But that's one of the things that I think everyone in the country is missing. Like those, I miss the roller coaster, the highs and lows. Like, the Cubs are gonna start. You know, they play the White Sox tonight in the inter-squad game. Like, I'm gonna go home and watch that, and it's gonna be way more serious to me
about that
than anybody. Why? Oh, I just thought we weren't talking about baseball.
We did say college sports. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But that's.
But I mean, like, we can talk about it like that.
I don't want to talk about.
So my dad is a season ticket holder for the White Sox.
Southside.
My mom, Southsider. My mom from the Dominican Republic, born there. She told me about Sammy Sosa when I was a kid. I'm like, I love Sammy Sosa.
That makes sense.
So I became a Cubs fan, and I also thought it was kind of fun to like root for the team that my dad. Yeah. And then it like took off. I'm like, all right, I love that we suck because this is fun, and eventually I'm gonna be able to stand here and be like, they did it.
Right.
You know,
you are one of the few people I know that went to Cubs games when they were terrible. Like terrible.
But I think that kind of helped me become the social drinker that I am. Because I would go to games with my friends and we would just be like, we're getting beat by 8. We might as well just start drinking. They say win or lose, we still booze. I'm like, yeah, that's really me.
My dad's best friend grew up in the Ickes projects across the street from the White Sox stadium. And he's a Cubs fan. Makes no sense to me, Uncle Larry. I love you, but it makes no sense. But it makes it fun because when we go to the Crosstown Classic, you know, loser has to wear the winner's jersey out of the stadium. And my dad is my height, and my Uncle Larry is like 6'3", so he had to put a size large jersey on, and vice versa. Last game that we went to, I had to put on his wife's Cubs jersey. Right. So I'm walking out the stadium with a woman's jersey on, and it's a woman's Cubs jersey at that.
See, I love that. Because that's so close. Like, you take the red line to go to both games. I was hoping that like the Cubs would play, because their first official game is next Friday. I was hoping they played like a 1:00 game, and I just wanted to see if people are going to show up out at 35th and Shields just to like hang out. I don't think the parking lots will be open, but there's a couple bars around there. I know Bridgeport's like
I
more.
don't understand that.
Well, I think Bridgeport's more up and coming now, where there's bars we could like go to watch the game and be
I
close.
think if they built up around the stadium, it would never be Wrigley.
No, and I don't.
They could make a lot more money. I feel like.
Oh hell yeah! And I think that that's something that they're probably working towards. Like I have a bunch of good buddies that are like, oh, I just bought a house in Bridgeport, and it's like that's cool. Like it's up and coming enough. Like there's enough restaurants, stores, whatever you want. So that's cool to me. So I know that everybody's gonna be in Wrigley, and I live there. So I'm like, I can't escape it, but I don't want to. Like I miss it so much that like I just can't wait to see people on the street wearing Cubs jerseys. We're all waiting for a 7:00 game, and then we watch the game. So, but yeah, Cubs Sox is definitely intense. I mean, if you go to a Friday night game at the Cell and they're playing the Cubs, like you're gonna see at least 5 or 6
It's gonna be more than.
No, we can't go there because listen, I am as big a Cubs fan as there are on the planet. I do respect what the White Sox have done recently. They made a lot of good acquisitions.
I thought last year was the year they would get over the hump and make the playoffs, but we do. But I also think if Tim Anderson didn't get hurt, last year would have went a little bit better because they were about to pick up some steam.
Yeah, Tim Anderson is one of my favorite players.
He's nice,
for sure. And I don't even really care about what he can do on the field. He has just taken this persona that like I'm gonna play baseball my way, and I think that that's like the biggest problem in Major League Baseball is there's not enough marketing for the guys that want to play with swag, want to rock J's on the field and all that. Like we need to highlight that so much more because these guys are funny, they're hilarious, they have opinions, and it's like
they have personalities,
and you can see their faces. Like they're not wearing helmets. Like if Mike Trout walked down Michigan Avenue, I bet 4 people out of all the people you'd see in a day would be like, oh, that's Mike Trout. But he could just walk by,
Right.
And that's like, I think he's the greatest baseball player ever already.
Yeah.
And he can just like walk through a mall.
That's strong.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, baseball could do a little better with that, and I think they are starting to turn that page because like last year, Tim Anderson, when he was throwing his bat and he was like, fired up, and then he was getting hit by pitches, and he was like, I don't care, I'm trying to change the game. Now that's their hashtag is change the game. And I'm like, let's just keep doing that. So I respect the hell out of Tim Anderson. He's really fun to watch, and he's a stud. He's the batting champ last year. Like you don't do that accidentally.
And that's a perfect segue to our next topic that is completely off of sport. I guess it's kind of sports related. Tim Anderson was an Adidas athlete, and he most recently switched to Jordan, I want to say, correct? Is he Nike or Jordan?
I think Nike. I would have to double check, but I know he did switch up recently.
No, he's 100% with Nike
to
some extent. So my next question for you, I know you're into sneakers as much as I am. You have on some Yeezys right now.
Yes, sir. They're
Ultra Boost or React?
This
Nike
is a
React.
very, very easy one for me. Ultra Boost by a million, in my opinion.
Okay.
I was never a fan of Adidas growing up. I was always like, I like
Everybody
Nike
was
better.
Nike,
what I'm saying? I didn't like any of their running shoes at all. And like, I know that like you ran, Rocky, he's always like, man, like I feel like I need to run in Brooks or whatever, because I can't, these Nikes are. So I'm like, as I get older, I'm like, I just want some like trainers to just like walk around in. I bought the triple white Ultra Boost. I think 2017. I'm like, this is the comfiest shoe I've ever put on my foot.
1000%. I agree with you.
And I was shocked because I'm like, man, has these shoes been that raw for so long?
So I got my first pair of Ultra Boost 2013. I want to say 2013, early 2014, my last year of college. I think I saw them at the Adidas outlet. I'm like, you know what? Seems like a cool shoe.
Right.
I want to try something out. They look cool. The Boost, I tried them. I'm like, okay, got a little bounce to them.
Right.
And I just use them as my travel shoes, like when we go to meets. I'm like, damn, like maybe I should try to work out in them. And they were great performance shoes as well. I think they really took off when Kanye West signed with Adidas, and then he wore the triple white Ultra Boost to the Bulls game. Remember, he had the random halftime show performance, and I remember they sold out because I remember looking at the triple whites online, and they were there. Kanye West performed. I went back to get them. Sold out.
Yep.
The Kanye West effect.
Yep.
That's definitely a another topic that we're going to talk about. Kanye West.
Tripping.
Actually, we're there, so we might as well go there now.
Yep.
What do you think of him running for president, whatever he's trying to do right now?
So the last I checked, he's taking his name out of the presidential race.
But I heard after that he is still running.
Well, what I know about, I don't know a ton about politics, but I know that you can't put your name on the ballot like 4 months before we're about to vote. So I think he's trying to sell whatever album's coming out, which I will listen to a lot.
I have not listened to a Kanye West album since The Life of Pablo.
Wow.
And you know how I am about shoes. You know,
Yes.
I got to the point where after he made the slavery was a choice statement, I sold I think 18 pairs of Yeezys.
Yep.
I couldn't support that or support him, and I kind of slowly like, you know what, he was tweaking. He has whatever medical issues going on, and I would never make fun of that because that's completely serious.
Right.
But you know, I'm not really a fan of his music anymore. But his shoes are dope, and I'm gonna just keep it 100.
Yeah.
His shoes are super cool. He's from Chicago at the end of the day, and I kind of like slowly got pulled back in.
Yeah.
Like, got I can't remember which ones. I got some 700s, and then I got AJ the 350s, and I got the boots and everything else. And then he's fucking tweaking again. So it's like,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think he really is.
I might have to
trying
completely just tap out because
No, don't tap out.
I don't want to give up because I was a diehard. I'm a ride or die kind of person.
Right.
Right or wrong, I got your back. But it just gets to a point like, bro, what are you doing and what are you saying?
I 100% agree because people come to me, they're like, yo,
What's wrong with your
tripping again?
What's wrong with your
That's
boy? Like, I don't know him.
And I'm like, man, like, how many times am I going to have this conversation? But what I tell people is like, I think, I don't remember what song, was it on Yeezus when he was like, name one genius that ain't crazy? No, it was on Life of Pablo. I just think he has his psyche is completely different than anybody that we would ever come in contact with. Like
he's a brilliant
so
man. He's brilliant.
Musically just genius. We know that. I think he just like cannot process being a normal guy, even if he tried. So like when he's saying, you know, when there was first rumors that he was going to start selling shoes with Adidas after, you know, the Yeezy, the Red Octobers was his last Nike shoe. And everybody, I mean, like that shoe is still worth, what, 20 bands or something like that? So it's like, all right, so he can rap. He's a world-renowned producer. Now he's into fashion. But like when the Adidas thing came up, it was like, all right, so what is he going to do? Just sell like super expensive pieces? And I thought he was, but I'm like, bro, you got to like sell this to the people. Like you got to give it to people that really support you. So I think the way he thinks is just so lofty. Like, I don't know if he really wants to be president, but like when you're that successful, it's like, what the hell else am I gonna do?
I mean, somebody else we know used it to,
right, and that's not that far off in my opinion.
And this is me not to get too political, even though on this show, I will get political. I will get political. I truly think that our 45th president was going to use that campaign as some kind of marketing idea, like the movie. Remember the movie Head of State, where Chris Rock, they were using him to take the L to prepare for the next election, and I truly think something similar went on with Trump, and he ended up gaining some momentum, said the right things to, I wouldn't say the right people, but the people that were going to vote for him.
Oh yeah,
and he ended up winning, and he like, oh shit, I can do it.
Right.
But I'll take a positive out of the situation. It's my personal opinion about how he runs the country. The positive of him winning the presidency is that if you put your mind to it, you can do it. I mean, of course we had President Obama, who, you know, was a black guy.
Shout out to that legend. What a hero.
Definitely, yeah, 100%. But I mean, of course we had a black president, so that lets people like you and me know like anything is possible. And then, like I said, it changed a personal negative to me into a positive. I mean, I'm gonna tell my son one day, like, this guy had no political experience and he became a president.
You can be whatever you want.
So,
no, I agree. And so, like, to just put a bow on the Kanye thing, like, I went to Michigan for the 4th of July and we didn't have any cell service, and the first thing we saw when we got back to civilization was Kanye's running for president, and I laughed. I'm like, of course this will happen. Like, I'm gone for 3 days and now this guy's running for president.
But I want to know where I think that seed was planted. I don't know what award show it was. Somebody screamed, Yeezy for president 2020. I know 100% that Kanye West was not thinking that. But as he's giving his speech, we know he can't stay on topic.
No.
He's sitting there thinking like,
yeah, I might.
And yes, I am running for president. Whatever he said. And then it's just like, this.
Well, so we have a Yeezy for president hat in our household, which is really funny. I don't own it. Which is fine. And I'm cool with it because it's funny, in my opinion, to just like have controversial shit like that.
Yeah.
But we were in Vegas and Madeline on a video was like, Kanye 2020 or whatever. I was like, you really? I didn't think she was tweaking, but she just like said it out of the blue, and I'm like, now we get back to civilization, and he's like running for president.
For real?
I'm like, wait a second, like this all happened way too fast, in my opinion.
My only issue with Kanye West and the presidency thing is, my political views align more similarly to the Democratic Party. I mean, it's whatever at this point. Like I said, I will get political.
The lines are so blurred now. It doesn't
we're because of the hate that our president entices and what he represents and stands for. We need to get him out of there. And it has nothing to do with Republican or Democrat. It's about the fact that he is provoking and promoting hate. People are going to vote for what protects their interests. It's financial. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's about money.
Yeah.
If the political views of whatever party is going to make me money and save me money, that's probably who I'm going to roll with.
Right.
But once you start, making people hate people and everything going on, and that's where I have an issue with it. So my issue with Kanye is right now, our focus is right. We don't need that vote to be split. And that's just going to cause another problem. Like regardless of Joe Biden won, he's going to be the Democratic nominee. Yep. So right now we need to back homie and then run for vice president. Right. Talk to Joe and be in a cabinet. If you truly feel like you can be in politics, how about start off by helping the Democrats get back in office, and then whatever you're trying to do that.
Right.
And I know everybody loves Chance the Rapper, and I was really shocked because he's such a great person with a great voice and great views and everything else. And this is all my personal opinion, so nobody's right and nobody's wrong. This is just how I feel.
Right.
I was just like really disappointed because he's been doing so good to me, and it's just like, damn, like you're contributing to this dude tweaking. So
I think the problem with a lot of our country at the moment is everyone has a platform, right or wrong, good or bad. And I think, freedom of speech, everyone's entitled to feel how they want to feel. But you could be in a basement like this, not as nice, obviously, wherever you are in your mom's basement, and you could just fire off whatever you want to say, and it's going to get seen. It just takes one person with 50,000 followers to retweet it, and now it's viral. Like, that's where a lot of this, like, hate is just, like, spiraling.
Because it's been there, it's just been concealed.
Right.
But that's my issue with the president.
Scary
the president, the closet racists are open with it. It's like, oh, so that's how you really feel. It's some people that I'm really cool with that I rock with them. I'm cool. I like love these people.
Right.
And it's just like, that's how you really feel. And they don't really realize that by endorsing or supporting certain things, that's telling me that you can't be sometimes. You can't justify, certain things.
Like if that's the hate you got in your heart, that's just who you are. And I agree. And I'm someone that just like, I do not have any care about politics, to be honest with you. I started to use my small platform more to just promote basic humanity. Like I was taught Catholic. I went to Catholic high school, Catholic grade school, LaSallian University. It's like the golden rule is do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Like I wouldn't want my uncle to have a cop with his knee on his neck, and I know that whatever color or race or whatever you believe in, you wouldn't want that either. So it's like if we could all take a step back and just like look at it as a basic humanity issue, then we would start to understand like, man, we can't be doing this. Like there's a lot of things we got to clean up. And that's why, like, I don't get into left, right, blue, red.
Yeah, I'm not political.
No, I know. And like to me, it's just like would you want that to happen to your brother, sister, wife, mother, daughter? You know, like I don't treat people that way. Like if you're stepping out of line, I will say something because that's just life.
We know.
Right. So like, but I'm not confrontational.
Right.
I just want people to treat people right. Like if I'm gonna treat you right, don't be disrespectful. You know. And I think if we could start to get to that place, we'll be better off. But
one thing that I can say, like I said, I'll take the positive out of the negatives. It is cool to see people of different races that are speaking up. Like, you know what? That's not fair. How black people are being treated. Like, it's not cool. Like, this movement it's inspiring. It's really cool to see. Although it's like a second civil rights movement.
Yep.
It is cool to see people. It kind of gives me hope, and it puts a little peace in my heart and it eases my brain to know that there are people that kind of like they know right from wrong. Like they respect and understand like human rights, like you said.
Yeah, and I think. So I went to one of the protests that started right outside of Wrigley. I just walked over, and me and my buddy walked from Clark and Addison to damn near North and Division, and the amount of young people, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, everything, the amount of young people that were a part of that, I mean, it was 100 degrees. There was people on the side of the street handing out water, free sandwiches.
It gives you hope.
Bananas. I'm like, man, like, bro, I was so overcome. I cried most of the day because I'm like, I was expecting this to be contentious. I was expecting it to be like, where are the police? Like, can we make sure that everything stays peaceful? It was peaceful. Everybody, we stopped. A few people decided they wanted to take the megaphone and just like speak their story. And I'm like, the amount of young people that showed up gives me a lot of hope because you can't get anything past people now.
Right.
It's like everything is out in the open. We know everything. Everything is just like for public consumption.
I know my mom and my grandmother gonna watch this, but it's no time for no foo-foo shit no more. Like, you can't be fake. You're gonna get exposed.
And the crazy thing is a lot of people are telling on themselves too, which I love. It's like you don't even know you're telling on yourself, but when you start popping off about wearing a mask at Walmart, like people's phones are out on every occasion. And so there's good and bad to that.
Yeah, of course.
Because like if you're just an innocent bystander and you're supporting someone that's acting crazy because he's your friend, now you're looped in. So that's like that's a tough scene, basically.
And it sucks that it's like that, but hopefully some greater good will come from that.
I think it will. Maybe I'm just that's the Cubs fan in me because I was telling people forever, like,
you definitely
we're gonna
have some hope.
You do.
Best of being a Chicago sports fan in general, you gotta have hope.
Exactly.
But on a serious note, that I'm glad. I hate that it had to happen, but I'm glad it did happen because I feel like we are as a country making positive steps.
Yeah, man. Like, how long have we been talking about the football team in Washington changing their name? Like, that happened fast. Like changing a team.
They've been trying to do that since the 70s, 80s,
60s. Yeah, man. Like that's a long time coming, and it was like this momentum we've gained from protests, from demonstrations, and all this. Like they're like, man, we got to do this now. Like we can't wait no more.
Regardless of their intentions, I'm glad they're doing it.
Me too.
I think the only reason they are doing it is because they know negative backlash.
But that's fine. That's why I like what's going on, because even if it's just happening just because this is going on, like these are things that should have been cleaned up.
And it sucks that people have to fuck shit up for points to be made. Nobody wants to protest. Nobody wants to burn stuff down. But that's the only way, and that's not an argument, but a discussion that I've had with a few people. They don't understand. Well, why are you rioting? Why are you looting? I don't agree with the looting, but you're hitting them where it hurts, where you're getting their attention. I 100% do not agree with looting at all.
Me either.
But I understand what some people are in it for the wrong reason.
Right.
They trying to get fresh.
Right.
But it's other people like, we're going to do this to hit them where it hurts because
now you're watching.
Right. We have your attention. Now that we have your attention, this is the agenda we're going to push.
Right. I agree.
It's unfortunate that that's what has to happen for.
And I've had. Man, over the last 3 months, I've had so many conversations with people of all backgrounds. They're just like, "Hey, man, are you good? Like, can you explain this to me? Like,
and that's what we appreciate.
Yeah,
just be understanding. We know that you will never fully understand what is to be a black man, but just to say, hey, and I'm just say this. college coach from Lewis, James.
Mhm.
James sent me a text like, "Hey man, I can't imagine, you know, pretty much like how it feels to be a black man
Right.
in America, and I know some of your experiences because I talk to James, you know, somewhat often, and
Yeah.
I told him about some bad experiences,
Yeah.
and he just said, you know, just know that my 2-year-old will be taught to respect everybody and everything else. So it's people like him that's just like,
Man,
it's refreshing. Like,
I got a
thank you.
similar
Somebody
text
gets
from
it.
Coach Mack, Lewis baseball coach,
Mhm.
and I was like, man, floored. Like, he was like, yo, I'm just checking on you. I won't begin to understand what you're going through,
Mhm.
what you've gone through. Let's just like have a conversation. And we did. We talked for about an hour.
All right, we're back from our little break. As the camera was off, Mike and I were talking, and he made a very disrespectful / controversial statement when he just said Drake's
The
new,
quote was,
Drake's new music is trash.
is trash.
and this really wasn't even going to be a topic, but anybody that disrespect, what is his Instagram handle? Champagne Poppy? I'm not calling no,
All right,
no
but
other
listen.
man Poppy.
Yeah.
But
Listen, I love Drake.
Drake
I
is-
think he's one of the greatest artists of all time. You cannot just pop up on a DJ Khaled song and jack The Weeknd's flow. I'm not
I totally thought that was the weekend, dude.
right.
I was
like,
oh,
they're
they're
cool
cool
again.
again.
Oh man, they are cool again.
Are they?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes. There's a good video. He did a show. I guess it was like 3 years ago at Air Canada Center, and he was performing Crew Love, and The Weeknd came out. I definitely need to send you the link.
Yes.
Cause it's like if you had beef with a homie for like 4 years or
I
something.
didn't know how. First
Bro, they hugged and I was like, this is black love.
I
right
didn't
here.
know the extent. First off, I'm like, what happened to them? And then I think I heard it on a song or no. Drake did the interview with somebody.
Yeah.
And he talked about it,
Mhm.
and I'm like, damn, I didn't know that they weren't cool, but it made sense. Like, damn, they haven't made music together.
Right.
But Drake is undefeated.
Yeah, he can't really
Drake
miss.
does not.
He don't miss.
He doesn't have a bad song.
I don't think he has a bad song. All I gotta say is him jacking The Weeknd's flow is pretty trash.
But that's what makes him so good, though.
I mean,
to
he's
me.
versatile. He could do anything.
He literally, I mean, listen to him when he does the UK. I don't know what that's called.
The
grime.
grind.
I like that.
Oh yeah, that's
I'm not gonna lie. I like when he does the whole the West Indies vibe.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's Drake. And
yeah. He
Drake.
really can't do no wrong.
Drake
I
can
was
do
just
no wrong
shocked,
in my
bro.
eyes.
I was
bro.
like, man, this
Zero
sounds
wrong
like.
in my eyes.
I'm like, this sounds like The Weeknd.
Like I'm like almost stan status of Drake, dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty close. I mean, I've seen him every time.
To the
he comes
point
Chicago,
where
so.
if you know me, you know I am a huge Pusha T fan.
Yes,
I've been listening to Pusha T since.
you were all over that Daytona album, all over it.
No, I do not. I almost don't like Pusha T anymore because, like, bro, how you gonna? First off, you gonna air out the man at a
He
kid,
aired him
and then
out,
he
though.
blew his bag with the Adidas deal. I'm like, bro, that's just. And then you gonna talk about his homie that's sick. Like Drake was fouled for saying his wife's name in the song,
Yeah,
but it's just certain things you just. I'm sorry, I would have had to pull up.
yeah. I was. So I always
I
thought the
heard
Meek and
it. I heard
Drake
it was
stuff
gonna
was
be like
trash. I thought that was just like a publicity stuff.
Drake-
They really
Drake
didn't
murked
like.
him.
Oh yeah, I was at OVO Fest when he performed.
I remember that.
back to back for
Yeah,
the first time.
I remember that.
He did play it twice. I was so
He did
lit,
play it
bro.
twice.
I was so lit. I couldn't believe that he actually did it. But yeah, so like,
But they said like, do you know who Jay Prince is?
oh yeah,
They said Jay Prince had to step. So Jay Prince, for those that don't know who Jay Prince is who made Rap A Lot Records. He's like the ultimate OG in Houston.
yes,
I know for a fact that he was back in the 80s before Larry Hoover got locked up, or maybe when Larry Hoover was locked up, was trying to unite all the gangs across the country to
Right.
unite to just to like I think call out like police brutality or something like that. But long story short, he's like a godfather type figure.
yep.
They said Jay Prince stepped in and said like, y'all gotta stop because the last time two people as big as y'all got into it like this
Somebody
was
died.
Tupac and Biggie.
Yeah.
So I do respect him and I appreciate that. But to be kind of hypocritical and be a scumbag, I mean, those diss records were kind of solid. Like,
Yeah.
diss records kind of make people like bar up. Like,
Oh yeah, you gotta come with it or you're gonna be slandered.
Right,
Bro. Like you
exactly.
cancel immediately.
Pusha T is really good. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like whenever he disses Drake or Lil Wayne, all right, he's about to drop an album. Right. And I love Pusha T is literally top five favorite rappers for me. Like I listen to the clips of Pusha T literally every week. Like not.
Bro, we were beating lunch tables right, to that clip.
Right, exactly. Pusha T is one of the coldest, but it's just like, why do you always have to go after Lil Wayne? Is not thinking about you. We know his money situation was screwed up with the Cash Money thing. And then whatever, even if somebody did write a Drake song, we know Drake has bars.
Yeah, and like, it don't really matter, bro. Like when people go on Hot 97 and Breakfast Club, like
those freestyles are written,
right? So I'm like, I don't care. Like if Pusha T made Back to Back, it wouldn't have sounded the same.
No, it wouldn't.
Back to Back was strictly a diss song, and it became probably the most popular song. Charged Up was it just like a taste, and he was like, all right, they're fucking with
that. Let me know he can spit though.
Right.
I mean, I knew Drake could spit, but it's just like, okay, if you take him there, he'll go there.
Oh yeah, and it got personal, and I was definitely about all of diss tracks.
I don't like Meek Mill, so I was 1,000% like on 10 with that.
Yeah, see,
Meek Mill is good. He just yells too much.
Yeah, he's a screamer, but all his music gives me hype. So
it's crazy.
Let's see what he's gonna do.
I did not expect that beef to be squashed. Regardless if it's real or not, you have a persona and an image. So Meek Mill is a tough guy. Yeah. So for him to say, you know what, and then they did a song together,
and that's
respect.
Going Bad was crazy. When that came out, I was like, all right, I'm so glad it's over. And
they made a hit.
It's a platinum
record. You can make
record.
more money together.
For real. But like, we don't need to do all this.
What makes me happy is we all know Pusha T is one of the best. I've been a big Freddie Gibbs fan for a really long time. Yeah. I saw an interview with him not too long ago, and he was talking about the top rappers in the game. Mm-hmm. He named his list, and he was like, Drake has bars. Pusha T is on Freddie Gibbs' last project, so they're friends. They're cool. They respect one another.
Yes.
Pusha T respects Freddie Gibbs, but Freddie Gibbs on camera said Drake is one of the best lyricists. So that made me feel like, okay, somebody that's like a tough dude, because Freddie Gibbs is about the action, what I heard.
Yeah, I heard too.
He shout out to Gary, Indiana. I don't know what else came from there besides him and Michael Jackson. No disrespect to Gary. Now I know a couple cool people from Gary, but
I usually drive through fast.
I don't drive through at all. That was so rude. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Now for him to respect Drake, like it's just like, okay, I'm not tweaking.
Right.
Like he is good.
All right. Let me ask you this: what do you think is the best rap beef from our lifetime?
Ooh, you just hit me with a question on my own show. The best rap beef.
I'll let you think because I got mine.
Go ahead. So while you say yours, I'm gonna try to think.
So I remember being like, maybe like 12 or 13. Like, so I would listen to Biggie and Pac in my dad's car all the time. Mm-hmm. So I kind of got it. Like,
right, that beef.
Hit him up. Yeah.
Honestly, I would have had to pull up the first line.
Oh yeah.
First off, F yo B word. First off, like yikes. I'm sorry. I'm not no confrontational person, but
right,
it's
like, you gotta pull up.
I gotta pull up.
Right.
Like first off, we got to talk because that hurt my feelings.
Right.
Like every time I hear it, I cringe.
It was like
I literally like
this was like a national thing. Yeah. But no, so like I knew that, and I was like, man, I kind of like when people bar up like that, and it's a battle, you know. So Jay and Nas, that's my favorite, because I think Ether is the best.
He definitely won, and so everybody knows I'm a big Jay-Z fan.
Yeah,
I at that time was a bigger Nas fan because I'm a young kid. I knew Jay-Z was good, but right now Jay-Z is the best to ever touch a microphone. Ether was better than anything.
Yeah, that's the best diss song I've heard, because he didn't give a damn. He was going everywhere, every direction. It was like you're fighting like Floyd Mayweather, but Floyd Mayweather is like boxing now. Like he's not playing on defense.
Right.
Like he's swinging.
I'm swinging.
I was like, wow, this. And as a shorty, I'm like, bro, this is real disrespectful, bro. Like he is going crazy right now. And I'm like, I don't even want to hear whatever Jay-Z's got to say now. Like,
but as I got older, I do like Takeover and I forget the other song. I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, Jay-Z's diss songs were good, but Ether wins all of it.
Oh yeah.
That might be the greatest diss song ever.
I think it is, and like I've tried to think about it. Like I know Eminem and 50 had their beef with Ja Rule, which was kind of just
the 50 Ja Rule beef was. I feel like that's more of a troll than anything.
Yeah, because 50 is a troll. Yeah, he's hilarious to me. But like so I'll give Ja props because on that one song, and I can't remember, the last line was about his daughter as his wife. Man, what did he say? He said,
I've never heard a Ja Rule diss song before.
Bro.
Okay, so the line was like, "Shut up, Em. You said your mama's a crackhead and Kim is a known slut. So what's Haley gonna be when she grows up?" And it was like murder, bro.
Oh, I do remember that about Eminem. Yeah,
I was like,
I'm not an Eminem fan.
I'm like, who is Ja? Why is Ja on that?
Right. Like he went crazy.
I was about to be silly and say my favorite rap beef was Soulja Boy and Bow Wow, but I couldn't even be serious when I said it. I couldn't even be serious when I said that.
That's awesome.
Soulja Boy has a song called "Fuck Bow Wow."
Yeah,
it's pretty bad.
So I think that the public perception of Soulja Boy is like he was just like a goofy.
No, he's
definitely not like that.
When he really rap, well, he ain't like Jay-Z.
No,
but he had a few songs in his production. People don't realize how many like songs that he produced that were fire.
It has taken 15 years for us to stop listening to Crank That. That's incredible.
You stopped listening to it?
I don't listen to it personally, but like I don't hear it as much as I did 5 years ago.
I was about to say like,
but it's still plays.
I was about to say like,
it's still
when it comes on. I bet you,
bro. It's a part of my life. That was our senior song in 08.
Yeah, I was a sophomore. I remember Sister Mary Jo at Marian Catholic. Shout out to Sister Mary Jo.
She's the best.
At homecoming,
she was doing it.
She cranked the Soulja Boy.
Yes.
And the thing on her
head.
I just remember seeing it like fly.
What was she like? She seemed like the coolest person ever.
Everything you would think.
It's true.
She's that.
Yeah.
She's dope.
When she did that little thing and threw that first pitch, I'm like, man,
that's awesome. Her personality.
Yeah.
That's 1,000% her personality.
I mean, like you, I have a few other friends that went there that they're like, man, she is really awesome.
She was dope.
Yeah, we trailed off, but that Ether for sure. Best diss song ever. Please, if you have other diss songs that you need us to hear, I would love to get.
Actually, in the comments, tell me your favorite rap beef.
Yeah, I want to know too because I would go back and listen to.
I really can't think of one that's just like is worth mentioning.
Outside of Nas and Jay.
Outside of Nas and Jay, everybody knows the Biggie Tupac.
Drake and Meek was fun because of Nicki.
Fair enough.
Because Drake has how many songs that he's like, I love Nicki, and he's just professing his love.
Yeah.
He like Meek was with her, so he had the upper hand on that, and they were just talking shit. And I'm like, yeah, this is too much going on.
I truly cannot think of any rap beefs right now. Just start naming some, and maybe I'll.
So I think about like, in my lifetime, I think about Biggie, Pac. I think Jay and Nas. I think of Eminem and like that whole group with Ja Rule.
That was like Murder Inc. versus
what was Aftermath? Shady Aftermath.
Yeah. Oh, I got one for you. That's definitely that one people probably don't even know that I know about is LL Cool J, Kool Moe Dee.
Oh yeah.
I love.
See, that's a deep cut because
80s,
that's before us too.
I love 80s rap. My dad is he was in high school and an adult in the 80s. So just like How You Like Me Now, this song, Mama Said Knock You Out.
Right,
that was a diss song.
Right,
and people don't know that.
That's why LL's super slept on.
Yeah, but
because he became something that he probably didn't think he was going to become.
No, like most actors want to be rappers want to be actors, and he definitely made his own lane.
Right.
But that rap stuff he did recently, he could have just kept that up.
He didn't need to do it, but that's what goes back to like when I think about Kanye, it's like what the hell else am I got to do? Like I have nothing else to do.
Go back to acting, bro.
Right. NCIS.
You don't have bars no more. Your bars melted.